Kin Stretch with Steve. Today we're going to be going over a more traditional Kin Stretch class with some isometric movement paths involved, changes in base position. I think it'll end up being a lot of hip focus today, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to start off with some lower body cars. So let's go. Take my socks off. And we're going to do some toe cars, just lifting the big toe and back down, big toe, back down, big toe, back down. All four little toes, back down, all four little toes, back down, all four little toes, back down. Let's lift all the toes, try to spread out real wide. And back down. Lift all the toes, try to spread out real wide. And back down. Good. I'm going to some straight leg ankle cars, both on the same side, both sides at the same time, moving in opposite directions. Do 2 each way and reverse. Good. And we'll go into some knee cars. All right, let's hug. We're going to go internal rotation, extend, external rotation, flex. Internal rotation, extend, external rotation, flex. Internal rotation, extend, reverse, external rotation, extend, internal rotation, flex. External rotation, extend, internal rotation, flex. Good, let's switch sides. Internal rotation, extend, external rotation, flex. Internal rotation, extend, external rotation, flex. Internal rotation, reverse, external rotation, extend, internal rotation, flex, external rotation, extend, internal rotation, flex. Good. Moving on up, quadruped hip cars. Put this on my spine to make sure I'm not leaning. All right. And I'm going to bend that knee. And I'm going to keep mine internally rotated a little bit. Flex the hip. Abduct. Internally rotate. Drive up into extension. Over into adduction. Down even with the other side. Extend. Drift out. Rotate. Up. And back down. Good. We'll just do one each way on those. Let's spin around. And we'll do the other side. Flex. Abduct. Internally rotate and extend. Drive in towards the midline of the body. Back down. Reverse. Good. If you're still having difficulty with some cars, definitely check out some videos on my YouTube channel, Stephen Cornelli, to give you a little bit more insight into them, all right, on the individual cars. All right, let's start from a deep squat position. All right, so I'm going to go down deep squat. I have my heels elevated a little bit. And I'm going to drive the knees out with my elbows, and I'm going to try to pull my chest up. And we're going to hold this position for about 2 minutes. I'm creating a passive stretch in my inner thighs, breathing and trying to elongate the spine and pull the chest up, feeling the hip flexors fire. We're going to do a set of pails and rails from here to start. Pails is going to be trying to press the inner part of the thighs against the elbows, like you're trying to close your legs. Rails is going to be to try to pull them off the legs. But we still have 1 minute of passive stretching left here. Working on some deep belly breathing. You can get a lot of good feedback here. In about 15 seconds, we're going to go to our pails, rails from here. All right, remember, pails contraction is going to be to squeeze those legs together, pushing them against the elbows. Ready, and go. Squeezing the inner thighs. Ramping up, really firing those inner thigh muscles. Squeeze, irradiate. Get to a real high level of tension today. In 5 seconds, we're going to go to rails. 3, 2, 1. And now try to open up the knees wider. Squeeze those outer hips. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keeping that chest up tall. I'm feeling my inner thighs lighten the load on my arms because I'm pulling them open. And relax. Woo. Nice. We're going to stay down in this position. I'm going to refine that passive stretch. We're going to do another set of pails, rails here in about a minute. And then we're going to do an isometric movement path down to our figure 4 position. But first we have pails, rails. Actually, before we go to figure 4, we might do some rotations from here. So right now, just do focus on keep finding that passive stretch in the inner thighs, pressing out with those arms, keeping that chest up tall. In about 30 seconds, we'll get into our round 2 of pails, rails. Hips are burning a little bit here. Been down in this position for about 4.5 minutes. That's good. Good to spend some quality time in the deep squat. All right, pails contraction, ready, go. Squeeze those inner thighs. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. And rails, go. Spread wider. Spread wider. Come on. Come on. Open those knees wide. Open those knees wide. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Whew. Let's go right into a T-spine rotation. So I'm here, elbow, arm, Same side, we got 5. Inhale. Exhale. Good, let's switch sides. Exhale as you reach it on up. Good. We're going to do an isometric movement path or controlled movement down to the figure 4. So what this is going to look like is I'm going to start to slide my feet a little bit closer to each other, keeping this deep squat position. All right. I'm going to put my hands back behind me for a little bit of assistance. If you can do it without the hands, go for it. I'm going to lift the right leg, straighten out as straight as I can, and sink down. From here, I will open that left leg, and now I will just adjust to face the camera. And now I'm in our number 4, figure 4 position. All right. So I have my right foot straight up in front of my right hip, and my left foot kind of in this half butterfly position. All right. I'm going to use these blocks to assist. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide back. I'm going to put a block under my butt. So just readjusting here to elevate me a little bit. Give me a little bit more room to work, which I'm not sure I'll need actually. Check that. There we go. All right, so we're going to do knee hinges from this figure 4 position. Sit up a little straighter. All right, so we're in our figure 4 position. We're going to do some knee hinges. And what this is going to look like is I'm going to lift my leg up, bend it and extend it 3 times from the knee, and then put it back down. All right. For me, when I'm doing this, I'm going to have an internal rotation focus on my knee. All right. That is just something I know I need. I need to focus more on internal rotation. All right. If you think that you have to focus more on external rotation, do that. Or you can simply do a car instead of just doing 3 hinges. All right. Let's try it. Lift, bend, straighten. 1, 2, 3, and down. Woo! Man, it's tough. A lot of quad cramping going on. It's even hard for me to control that internal rotation as much as I wish I was able to. All right. But from here, we are going to go out into pike position. So I'm going to lift this leg up, and I'm going to send it right next to my right leg. Lift, extend, down. We're now in pike. All right. From this pike position, you see I have a little back support helping me keep my spine upright. All right. I'm going to come and glide forward off of that, essentially making a passive range lift off. All right, for my hip flexors. So I'm here. I'm going to pull forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. I'm going to try to get even further back. I'm going to put one of these between my legs to create a little bit of tension there. And pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. And pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3. And pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 4. And pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 5. Good. And take this. We're going to transfer back to our number 4, just on the other side. So I'm going to lift that right leg. Bend it, pull it in, pull it in, pull it in, and place down. Now pull it in a little bit further. All right. From here, knee hinges on the left leg. Here we go. Lift. Bend. Extend. 1. Bend. Extend. 2. Bend. Extend. Put down. Ooh, that's hard. Let's go back to our pike position. Lift. Extend out. Put together. And I'm squeezing there. Adjust the shorts and the wedgie I'm getting. All right. Hands behind the head. Sit up nice and tall. And passive range lift off again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hey, nice work. All right. Let's go back to our deep squat position, and then we'll transfer back into a 90-90 position. But from here, deep squat, we're going to put our hands down to the side of us. We will lift, bend, put down, lift, bend, put down. Then we will come here back to our deep squat position. All right. Just breathe, hang out in this deep squat for a second. Focus on some relaxing breaths. It should be easier to get into now that we've been here, now that we did some hip stuff. We can even stir the pot a little bit. This is basically kinetic stretching for the ankle joint. Feel your ankles pull and push you in this circle. Can you feel what's working? What part of the ankle is pulling on you? Reverse directions. Good. All right. Isometric movement path. Down to our 90-90. We're going to let's go left knee goes down to there. Right hand's going to go back to help me. And then I'm going to open up that right hip. And now I will just adjust to form good 90-degree angles. And I'm here in 90-90. All right. From here, I want to work some front leg stuff. All right. So we're going to do a little knee hover to an extension from here. So we're going to try to lift up the whole leg, spin it, and send it straight out in front of us. Give myself a little support here. And here we go. Lift up the whole leg. Extend. Spin. Put down. Feel that big stretch. Enjoy it. Let's do some axial rotations of the hip from here. Externally rotate. internally rotate. That's tough for me. Set a timer here. Go for a minute. Focus on trying to roll all the way in from the hip and all the way out from the hip. Trying to sit up nice and straight. You have 15 seconds left. Good. We're going to lift up and bend it back to our 90. Ooh, cramp. Good. Let's switch into 90-90 on the other side. Open this. We're going to pass through bear sit. Scooch. Try that again. Open this. Keep this down. Keep opening this. Keep that down. Keep opening this. Keep that away. Open wide. Open wide. Keep opening this. Open. Open. Put that down. Open. Open. Good. We made it. I got to scooch back. Need some room to kick that leg out in front of me. All right. So I'm here. I'm in my 90-90. All right. Try to lift, extend, and then we'll go into our axial rotations. Ready? Ooh. Oh, man, that's tight. Ooh, that does not like to be here. And Alexa, set timer 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
Starting off with some axial rotations. Try to remain upright. From this half 90 position. Focus on that internal rotation, seeing how far I can get it in. That's tough for me. Trying to keep the quad active, really ensure movement from the hip. Alexa, cancel timer. All right, we're going to lift it back. Good. All right. Let's scooch forward a little bit here. All right. And we are going to rotate back to our bear sit position. All right. Here. Open this up. Open. Keep that open. Keep that open. Keep that open. And we are in bear sit. I'm going to reset myself so I have back support in bear sit. And so my butt's elevated a little bit. So really helping me get into some anterior pelvic tilt from here. All right. Woo. All right. From bear sit, I want to do some half swimmers. So we're here. Keep those knees open wide. Stand off. Y. Bend. Pull up. Y. Bend, touch. Pull off, extend, bend, back to the head. 2 more. Let's go out to 90 degrees at the armpits, 90 degrees at the elbow. We'll do some capsular cars for the shoulder in this position. Just rotating through that humerus. 1. We're going to do 5 of them. I'm actively trying to protract my scapula. It's something I've been working on personally. You can protract it or retract it. Just don't get confused at what's actually moving. Good. Let's put some pressure down onto here, and we will come back to rest in bear sit here. All right. I'm going to try to sit up even more upright. Really prop that chest up. Ideally, I'd like to get my outer part of the thighs down to the ground. That'd be great. Who knows if that's ever happening. Breathe. We're going to go into an internal rotation pals rail stretch for the hip here. All right. I'm going to try to internally rotate the knee as I do this. Again, it's been something I've personally been working on. You can choose your knee position. I think we did this one last week. Same deal. Ideally, I'd have some sort of weight to kind of anchor me down on this side. But since I'm home, I don't have one. So we'll make do. All right. I'm trying to find stretching going on in the hip. Unfortunately for me, I'm finding a lot going on in the knee right now, which is not what I want. So I'm going to rotate the knee a little bit, see if I can reset that. And really try to push down into that hip a little bit, keeping my butt firmly down on the block. Trying to sit up nice and tall. Cannot seem to get this. So when that happens, I try to go on the other side. Let's see what's going on in this hip. Some days it's just harder to find a stretch in the place you want it to than others. And so you might need a different strategy to find it. I can find this one, but instead of using this position, let's stretch internal rotation a different way. So I'm going to come off this block, and I'm going to fold down into 90-90. All right. So I'm going to find an internal rotation stretch in order to do pals rails on this back leg. That's my internally rotated hip. So what I'm going to think about is I'm going to try to get this bottom part of my pelvis, the sit bone, down to the floor while keeping this knee anchored down to the floor. I'm going to do that by just shoving that down. I'm also going to elevate my heel over here just a little bit to encourage internal rotation of that knee. So the knee doesn't become the stressor. If you remember, I've been working on some stuff with my knee. All right, I'm feeling it. I can hit some of that internal rotation tension. Something's going on there. It doesn't feel the same as it normally does. It's probably good that I'm checking it out today. So we're going to do a 2-minute passive stretch here. It's my job to breathe and relax into this stretch. I'm going to focus. and releasing tension in that hip to try to get deeper into the stretch. Good, we got about 30 seconds left. Pals contraction is going to be try to lift the knee up, externally rotate the hip. Rails contraction will be try to internally rotate that hip more. So really just lifting that chest and taking some pelvic hiking out of that side has really helped me target that hip a little bit more. All right, Pals contraction, right hand on top of the knee. Press up into it. In 5 seconds, we're going rails. 3, 2, 1. Rails. Try to internally rotate that hip. Trying to sink that butt down to the floor. And relax. From here, come out of that rotation a little bit. I'm going to go into a passive range liftoff or internal rotation. So I'm just going to try to internally rotate the hip and back down. And back down. And down. 2 more. 1 more. And down. Good. Good. We're going to flip it over to the other side. And same deal. I'm going to elevate this heel to encourage knee internal rotation. And I'm going to try to sink back and find the internal rotation stretch on this hip. Yeah. And I'm going to set my clock for 2 minutes. Interesting. So this side is definitely different than the other side. Not as much restriction in that internal rotation. I've been talking about over the past 3 to 4 weeks, I have been working on my knee, my hip, my ankle, and now really my foot has presented itself. These are not separate issues, they're all one. So I have been working on both internal and external rotation of the hip, I've been working on internal rotation of that knee, and I've been working on eversion and inversion of the ankle. And I got to add in some big toe stuff there too. So one of the problems with having to rehab the lower limbs is we use them all the time for running or walking, and your body's going to constantly try to find ways to compensate so the pain goes away. So it'll probably just change your gait pattern a little bit due to whatever the injury is, and that makes the pain go away and think that we're all better now, but it doesn't really work like that. So secondly, it's very complex. It all plays together. So at first I thought it was it's just a knee thing, but now I know my hip is definitely involved. My limited internal rotation is definitely involved in that, and now my ankle feels a little swollen, and it's actually I feel like it's my big toe. One of the tissues down here surrounding the big toe is not in a great spot right now. So that's something that needs to be worked on too. Because all these compensations are going to lead to some change. All right, pals contraction. Let's press up into that hand. Trying to externally rotate. And internally rotate now. Cramping a little bit. God damn. Cramps are killer. Gonna externally rotate a little bit to get rid of that cramp. Come back into it. And I'll go back into my passive stretch. So the cramping happens when you get to a lot of activation at end range that tissue just can't handle and thinks something's going haywire. You want to try to fight through that cramp and breathe, but sometimes it's just too heavy and you got to come out of it. And the easiest way to come out of a cramp is just move in the exact opposite direction. You might not even need to go full range of motion, but it'll help tell the body that, hey, I can come out of this anytime. Good. All right. We are going to come back to and finish off with deep squat position. All right, same thing that we started with. So to get there, we're going to flip up. Going into bear sit position. And then I will just push myself up, sliding the feet more into my deep squat position. And back to where I started. From here, I want to try some swimmers. Full swimmers. These are tough, all right? But I haven't tried them in a while, so it seems like a good day to try. All right, so we're here. Off. Wide. Reach, spin back behind you. Bend, touch the back. Try to stay deep in that squat. See, I'm coming up a little bit. Touch. Two. Three. Four. Last one. Five. That's it, guys. Great job today. Thanks for coming. That was a tough one today. Ooh. I'm sure your hips will thank you tomorrow. See you later.